What kind of intelligence do we need in today's world? Usually when we think of intelligence, we think about our ability to learn, comprehend, retain, and then give back facts, pieces of information. So in school, our teachers put pieces of information on a blackboard. Our ability to learn that, retain it, and then give it back on an exam is what we would consider a mark of intelligence. Our intelligence tests are things that test that which we know, or that which we can do. How good we are at figuring out different puzzles of colors, of shapes. But intelligence told us at one time that the earth was flat. There was a time in history where the most intelligent people were those who understood that the earth was flat. There was a time in history where the most intelligent people were those who knew that the earth was the center of the universe and everything else revolved around it. Those who said that the earth was not the center of the universe, or that the earth was round and not flat, were ridiculed, and worse, abused, tortured, locked up. They weren't just unintelligent. They were traitors to intelligence, traitors to science, traitors to knowledge. So what we know about that type of intelligence is, it's based only on our tools of observation. As good as our tools are, we understand and we make judgments. But real intelligence has to be based on something that's unchanging, something that's eternal, something that's not contingent upon the quality of my tool of measurement. So when my microscope gets bigger and bigger and bigger, suddenly we understand, I'm not actually just cells. First we got to a point where our microscopes showed us we were cells. Then we got to a point where our microscopes show us we're actually energy. When the electron microscope was developed, it showed us, wow, we're not solid. We've spent all of history thinking we were solid. But look at this now. We're whirling energy. There is no place that I end and you begin. So intelligence, as most of us think of it, is just my ability to take in the information that my tools give me, which means that my intelligence is only as good as my tools. But real intelligence, what we really need today, is the ability to know. The ability to know a truth that's not dependent upon a specific tool. A truth that's not changing every minute and every moment. If I say to you today is Tuesday, and this is the date, and this is the year, and this is the time, and this is our latitude, and this is our longitude, and this is the barometric pressure of today, you'll say, wow, she's very intelligent. But that information is true only for this very tiny, tiny, tiny specific intersection of time and space. Right here, right now, it is true. But by the time people are actually seeing this, and in the places where people will see it, it's no longer true. Perhaps it's not even true right now. Different latitude, different longitude, different time, different date, different pressure of the barometer. So real intelligence, what we really need, is not that which keeps changing, not that which is dependent upon, contingent upon a good compass, a good ruler, a good microscope, a good telescope, but what we could call a spiritual quotient, an SQ, instead of an IQ. Now, of course, there's intelligence in that as well. Spirituality does not make us dumb. Spirituality is not a numbing of our ability to think. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It is an activation of our ability to really think. Not just absorb that which people are telling me. Not just be indoctrinated. Not just memorize, but really think. And that's the type of intelligence that we need. The type of intelligence that says, who am I? Not what's the pressure on the barometer outside of me, not where's the longitude and latitude outside of me, or on this physical piece of earth upon which I'm sitting. But what is the pressure inside me? What is the latitude and longitude? Where do I stand? Who am I in this creation? That awareness that I'm not this physical body. To most of us, if I say, oh, you're very intelligent, tell me about yourself. We might say, well, this is my name, this is where I'm from, this is what I weigh, this is how tall I am, this is the color of my skin, this is my religion, this is my culture. These are my relationships. But again, that's only true in this instantaneous intersection of time and space. If you were driving your car down the road and somebody called you and said, who are you? And you said, I'm exit 51. The person would say, no, 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 I didn't say, where are you? I said, who are you? And then if you said, well, now I'm exit 52, they would think that either you'd gone completely crazy or your phone was just so staticky you couldn't hear them properly. Because we all intuitively understand I'm not the exit on the freeway where my car has reached. But for me to say, I'm a 46-year-old white female American sannyasi in India, is the equivalent of saying I'm exit 51. I'm exit 17. It's simply where this vehicle has reached at this intersection of time and space. And that which I'm able to perceive with these five senses. It's not really who I am. So the real intelligence is, who am I? Well, if I say my body, clearly I'm not the body. I've been saying I since I was about 2, but my body has changed innumerable times since I was 2. I'm still saying I. So I'm not my body. If I say my emotions, my thoughts, well, if they're mine, I'm not them. Because if I were my thoughts, then the minute my thought ends, I would cease to exist. And if I cease to exist, then who's the one thinking my next thought? If I am the thought, then the minute it ends, I end. And if I end, who thinks the next thought? If I am my emotions, then the minute I no longer am angry or sad or happy, I would cease to exist. And if I cease to exist, then who's the one who becomes happy or sad or angry the next time? So the real intelligence is the awareness of who am I that is constant, that is there in the space between thoughts, the space between emotions, that's not being shedded and regenerated with the cells of my body. That's the awareness that matters. That's the real intelligence. And then what's that connection with this who I am, with all of the world? Lack of intelligence sees us as separate, sees us as objects. Real intelligence, spiritual intelligence, understands the spirit that runs through me is the same as that which runs through you. So whether I know this because I've looked in an electron microscope, or whether I know this because I've looked in my meditation, in either way I understand there is no place I end and you begin. And this is the intelligence that we're supposed to have. And this is what happens in our lives. We're told, okay, here's what you need to do in life. You need to get a good education, which means memorize the information you're given, give it back on the exams, and with that education, you need to then get a good job that will pay you a good salary so that you can purchase all of the things that now we're going to convince you you need to be happy. Marry the right person, have the right children, send those children to the right school. This is the instructions of life that we're given. You should look the right way. You should have a house in the right area of town, own the right possessions, the right model, the newest models. This is what life is about, is what we're told. And then at some point in our life, tragically, usually toward the end, we wonder, did I miss something? Was there something else? And most of us go through our lives missing the point, only because we're not told to look for it. It's not our fault. It's not that we're stupid or materialistic or shallow. It's that this is what we are told. Like these subjects were told, count baskets. We are told, build your life. Career, prosperity, home, beauty. We're never told, but remember, that's not the point. Remember there's something else. And so we miss it. And real intelligence is not missing the point. Real intelligence allows us to also count the baskets. We are also perfectly able to get the education, get the career, have the families, do all of those things. But our eyes are wide open. And we are fully mindful of the fact that in the midst of doing all these things, we must be sure not to miss the point. Real intelligence is not that which teaches me how to bend my hand to feed myself, but real intelligence is that which teaches me how to extend my arm to feed others. Real intelligence is that which makes me see not objects, not just form, but essence, content. So it's a shift of focus from form to content, from object to essence. Because the essence is that which is the real truth, that which is eternal, that which is unchanging. That's what we put on this tilak for. The tilak is there to remind us to open our third eye. Because with that third eye, we can see the truth. That capital T truth, which is the spirit, which is consciousness, which is oneness. That's the intelligence we need today.